My name's Bob Harris. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, and I grew up in Birmingham, grew up in Homewood, was one of the first graduating class that went all the way through Homewood High School, and went to Auburn University and graduated with a degree in accounting. My wife's father was a builder, and so back in the middle 80s, we started building our own personal house, and he would assist me in it. And so then over time, we built several personal houses. We've lived in a lot of houses, probably 10 or 12. I would build those, and I said I was graduating accounting at Auburn. Well, I've got a CPA firm too, and I had clients that wanted to build houses, and I would build those for them for a fee, a small fee, just for the experience. And over time, we built quite a few in Birmingham, building in Shoal Creek, Greystone, Brook Highland, Vestavia, Homewood, various places primarily over the mountain in Birmingham. And then in about 2000, we got in a bigger way and started branching out both to the lake and in Birmingham. So we've been building for about 20 years. I married my wife in 1982. Jan, she was also from Birmingham. We've got two kids, Hunter, who's working with me now, and Allison, who is married, lives in Birmingham. I've got one grandchild, granddaughter, Brooke Ann, and they've been married for about 8 years, and my son's engaged now and be marrying a girl in June of this year. I enjoy coming to the lake. I mean, we always have. We come down here most weekends as soon as I can get through a tax season. We're here every Saturday and Sunday, mainly Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the weekend. And so I spend a lot of time at the lake, but primarily, I guess if you had to classify something as a hobby, it would be building houses. That's something I enjoy. My wife and I wanted a place at Lake Martin, and we came down and we met with the Russell agents, and they showed us the ridge. And we liked the ridge, so we selected a lot in phase one. And being a builder, I thought if I was going to come down here from Birmingham for one house, I might as well build two and sell one of them. So I started the second one at the same time, and before I could even break ground, I had two more pre-sales. I think we've built close to 20 houses in the ridge, and then we've built about 10 in Willow Glen. And then also over in River Oaks, we built a couple of houses. And then we have branched out in other areas, but we've been primarily in the Russell subdivision since 2004. We've got a group that works with us on the houses. My son has gone to work with me starting in October of this past year, and he assists me down here. So I'm down here quite a bit. I'm usually here 2 to 3 days a week. I've got a superintendent, Jim Dunham, that lives in the ridge here, and he assists me on pretty much every day on a day-to-day basis, checking on the jobs. And then we've got some other people at the office that paying the bills, doing the accounting type work, checking insurance on subs, making sure everybody's got proper insurance. In the building process, one thing that's very important to the customers is knowing your cost. I'm very familiar with numbers, so I mean they probably get flooded with spreadsheets and numbers, probably more numbers than they want to see, but they stay up to date on where they are on allowances, where they are on the cost of their house, estimating the cost of the house. We do that. I think we watch our jobs closely, so the quality on the jobs is very good, and staying up to date with the finish outs that people like because of the number of houses we build here. I think we have a good idea what a customer wants, and we incorporate those ideas in our houses. I think a lot of homeowners, they can look at a set of plans, but they don't really understand what it's going to look like when it's finished. And so it's fun to see them go through the process from a set of plans that they really didn't quite understand. They had a pretty good idea what it was going to look like, but to see it come together is enjoyable for me. I said I got married in 1987, and we had two children. Well, one of my son has come to work for me in October of this past year. He's got a similar background that I did. He's got a CPA. He went work for a national accounting firm, and now he's come in to learn the building process and expand on his accounting knowledge.
I worked in Birmingham, and I spent 4 years working at a large accounting firm, and then I decided that I wanted to change, and I looked at various different options and really came to the conclusion that I'd rather work for my dad than anybody else, and I'd rather be able to spend the time and learn the building side of it and learn a skill that I could see myself doing 20 years down the road. And this is something that, as he said, he's built close to probably 50 houses, and so I've been around building my whole life, and I'm just seeing how much fun the process can be, and I've wanted to be a part of it and learn what it's like to be a builder. So that's kind of since October, I'm learning the ropes and trying to figure out how this process works, and it's been a good experience so far.
I don't know how long ago it was, probably 3 or 4 years ago, Russell Land's, Steve Arnberg and that group, the marketing department, they all want names for house plans. So you try to come up with a unique name. And so what I did was I named, this is the Brooke Ann house that we're at today. And my granddaughter's name is Brooke Ann. And so it's named for her. And so it was kind of interesting. They had their open house at Russell last year and people were coming through and she happened to be there, and several people noticed that the house must be named for her, because when I'd introduce her, they'd know this house must be yours. And then we're fixing to come out of the ground. We're about to break ground on one in Willow Glen, and we've named it the Abbey. And I mentioned my son was going to get married in June, and his fiance's name is Abby. So we've named that house for her, and the next one we do, we'll come up with another family name. If it's another grandchild or another child, we'll come up with one that we can use for it. So I'm going to name my houses after family members. The Brooke Ann house, it's a floor plan we've been using probably for about 5 or 6 years. Each time we build it, we get feedback from homeowners that we built it for. It's always little things. They'll tell us if this was in another spot, or we expanded this room just a little bit, or if we changed this, it would be better. And so it's gone through several modifications over time, and now it's to the point where it's a very workable plan. There's no wasted square footage in the plan. So for approximately 3,400 square feet, you're gonna get 5 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, an upper and lower living room area, spacious kitchens, and then we have a lot of outdoor living area. One of the nice things about the Brooke Ann is that all bedrooms have a view of the water. So there's a lot of glass off the back of the house, and just about every room in the house has a view of the water, which is a huge plus here at Lake Martin. In looking at what I think we do well, one thing I think you'll find with a lot of homeowners, as soon as you talk to a homeowner talks about building a house, first thing they're going to do is tell their friends about it. And 90% of them are going to have horror stories. They'll know friends that went through the building process that they say it's horrible, your marriage won't survive it, it's just a terrible experience. It doesn't have to be that way. It should be an enjoyable process, and you should have fun doing it. And the key to that is having somebody that stays on top of it with you, helps you getting to the right people that you need to use to build a house, whether it's vendors that are going to, for your plumbing supply, various lighting fixtures, plumbing supplies, or whether it's an interior decorator that's going to help you with paint colors. Get connected with the right people, and it can be a fun process, and that's the way it ought to be.